say something truthful? Just given the 2-minute warning, which means we're at about 1:30.
Okay. I just needed to put my microphone in pocket and all that good stuff.
Turn mine on, because, that's always good.
You forgot that I played guitar.
Gonna dance up the aisles, Laura? Oh, sure. Hey, Laura.
After. Okay. Thank you. All right. No. Nope. Sorry.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome. It has become a ritual here to take a deep breath. I don't know if anybody went Black Friday shopping, if you need to get rid of that stress. I did not go Black Friday shopping, but I got lots of calls from Black Friday shopping about deals and would I approve charges. But take a deep breath. And as I like to teach, Shabbat is not a time when we ask for things, but a time, and appropriately enough at this time of year, when we offer gratitude for the things we already have. So as we take a deep breath in again and welcome Shabbat, to think about something this Shabbat that we are grateful for, as we set the right frame of mind. Something I am super grateful for is that Cantor Dave is a member of our congregation and back on the bima with us. This Shabbat, we welcome him back, and we are all together, so we will welcome our service with singing. How amazing it is that we are all together. We are on page 10 with Hine Matov.
מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לי לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לי לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
I've always liked the teaching that it is from my teachers I have learned much, from my colleagues I've learned more, and it is from my students I have learned the most. And sometimes when we teach our littlest learners, we are reminded of some of our favorite teachings. And when I do Come Grow With Me Shabbat, I always like to remind them that we have 2 candles because we are commanded twice in the Torah to celebrate Shabbat. First, when we receive the 10 commandments, and that is Zachor et Yom HaShabbat, remember the Sabbath day. So we're supposed to take a moment to remember that we're given this 25 hours to really pause and take a breath and reflect and refresh and renew and all of those other good RE words. And then we are also commanded again in Deuteronomy, because really the book of Deuteronomy is just a recapitulation of everything that happened in the 3 previous books. And that commandment is shamor, to guard the Sabbath. So we're supposed to do something that makes it special, something that says these 25 hours are different from the rest of the week. But I always teach them, you just have to have at least 2 candles. So a new custom we have had in this congregation is that people who are watching us from Zoomlandia, as I like to say, who are watching us at home, light candles in their home. And those who would like to, feel free to come up to one of the 2 tables and light Shabbat candles with us. We will begin actually on page 3, go back to page 2, and then continue on page 4. Shabbat candles are also different than any other blessing. We actually do the act first and then recite the blessing. So we'll have you all light your candles, and when they're all lit, then we will join with Cantor Dave in singing the blessing together. Have these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, by our own day, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the 7th day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God stopped on the 7th day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the 7th day and declared it holy, because on that day God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim. Ki vanu vacharta, veotanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
It's a very good year. Our opening reading can be found on page 8. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We rise as able on page 28 for Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed.
Our Ma'ariv Aravim reading is not in your book this evening. As the sun sinks and the colors of the day turn, we offer a blessing for the twilight. For twilight is neither day nor night, but in between. We are all twilight people. We are many identities and loves, many genders and none. We are in between roles at the intersection of histories, or between place and place. We are crisscrossed paths of memory and destination. Streaks of light swirl together. We are neither day nor night. We are both, neither, or all. May the sacred in-between of this evening suspend our certainties, soften our judgments, and widen our vision. May this in-between light illuminate our way to God, who transcends all categories and definitions. May the in-between people who have come to pray be lifted into this twilight. We cannot always define, we can always say a blessing. Blessed are you, God of all, who brings on the twilight.
Amen. Page 34. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vahed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vahed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
You may be seated as we continue with V'ahavta on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Yesterday was our festival of Thanksgiving, and one could argue our festival of freedom, and we can get into the politics of how we got the land in America and who really belongs here. But it is a celebration of when we focus on gratitude and being grateful for the freedoms we have, and understanding that it is our responsibility to continue to fight for the freedoms we still do not have. And so as we sing Mechamocha on this Thanksgiving Shabbat, we are reminded that this was the first song that the Israelites sang when they reached freedom, and they too were focused on the joy of finally achieving freedom. And then the next part of the journey was recognizing the responsibility that came with that freedom. So we continue with Mechamocha on page 40.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. זה לי אנו ואמרו, זה לי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. La 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 la.
And we go from thinking about freedom and responsibility to thinking about protection. The Hashkivenu prayer was a very literal prayer when it was first written, about physical protection at a time when making it through the evening was not so certain. And now it's really about emotional and spiritual protection. As we lay our heads on the pillow, may we have a restful and a peaceful evening. May whatever anxieties plague us through the day be alleviated so that we can rest and relax. And then for those who have been here for a morning service, we then wake up and we say, Modza Ani, thank you for this restful night. Thank you for placing my soul back into my body. And thank you for giving me this opportunity for a new day. So we lay our heads down, we ask for a peaceful night, and we wake up full of gratitude. So we continue with Hashkivenu on page 42.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו
I just finished teaching my section of the Intro to Judaism class. It's a community class, mostly for those who are interested in converting to Judaism, although some people are just interested in learning more about Judaism. And I teach the section on the calendar. And one of the things I always teach is that the only unit of time not governed by a celestial being is the week. And that unit of time is straight out of Torah. And so we talk about the fact that the Shabbat is a sign of one of the signs of our relationship with God. It is a gift that God gave us when God created the world, and it is one of the signs that we each can have our own unique and personal relationship with God. And that is really what Bishamar reminds us of, is this symbol that we can all have a relationship with God, and that God has given us this gift each week of time for rest and reflection. So we join together on page 44.
Hand motions allowed, encouraged, encouraged. Okay. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
And if you didn't before, now you know the Macarena too. That's all that is. We borrow from many traditions. As we rise for the tefillah, I am reminded of one of my favorite quotes, that our prayers are answered not when we are given what we ask, but when we are challenged to be what we can be. Please rise on page 46. We'll just keep on going through 52.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מגל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. And as we move into our prayer for peace, I said in the beginning of the service, we're not supposed to ask for things on Shabbat. We're reminded we're allowed to ask for peace and healing, which we will do in a moment, because those reside within us. So as we offer our prayer for peace, in addition to offering gratitude, which has become our custom, I also challenge you to think about what it is within your power to do to help make our world a better place as we offer this prayer for peace. Shalom Rav is on page 60.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon, לכל השלום, כי אתה הוא מלך אדון, לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
As the great Rabbi Nachman of Bratislav taught us, a person reaches in three directions: into oneself, up to God, and out to others. And in the true miracle of living is that if you reach in any one of those directions, you actually reach in all three. And that's the power of the Misha Berach. We reach into ourselves for the healing inside of us. We reach up to God with the name of those we love and care about. And we reach out to everyone who is in need of healing with our prayer. For those who are at home, you are, of course, welcome to put into the chat anybody who you may be praying for this Shabbat. And for those with us in person, I will pass my hand over the congregation. And if there is anybody who would like to say a Misha Berach for, and you have their permission to say their name aloud, please feel free to do so.
Fundamental, it's Shelley and I.
For all the names we said aloud, for all those we hold in our hearts, for all those in need everywhere, we sing Misha Berach together on page 253.
Misha Berach Avoteinu Mekor HaBeracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBeracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We take a moment for personal silent prayer and reflection.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
As you all know, I love stories. And some of my favorites are about the wise people of Chelm. They used to be known as the wise men of Chelm. Will be a little more gender inclusive. And that name was always given to them ironically because they always used to make silly decisions. But in those silly decisions, there really is quite a bit of wisdom we can learn. And so tonight I would like to share with you a story of the wise people of Chelm. Now, the people of Chelm loved the moon. When it glowed bright in the sky, they were so joyful. Life just seemed to be better. People who were in love felt even better about their partners. Children seemed to listen to their parents and teachers more and fought less with their siblings. And friends and neighbors just got along better. But those times of the month when the moon was darker and less visible, the whole town of Chelm just seemed to be sad and depressed. And so one day, they all got together and decided that the next time the moon was bright in the sky, they were going to capture it. And they were going to hold on to it so that they would always have the moon. And they would always be joyful, and they would always be in love, and people would always be kind to each other, and everything would always be amazing. And now they just had to figure out how they were going to capture it. And they were thinking, and they were thinking, and they were trying to figure this out. And Joseph the tailor said, I know. The last time I ate a bowl of soup, I saw the reflection of the moon in my soup. So if we could just build a really big bowl of soup, we could capture the moon. And everybody thought this was the best idea ever. So that's what they did. They constructed in the center of town the largest bowl you can imagine. It took up the whole center of town. And then everybody who lived in Chelm brought soup. They brought it by the buckets and the tubfuls, just soup upon soup upon soup, and they filled this bowl. And that night, it was a full moon, and they saw the reflection of this moon in this bowl of soup. And they got so excited, and they quick gathered the top they had made for this bowl, and they shoved it on top of the bowl, and just then a cloud passed over the moon, and it got dark, and they said, we did it! We captured the moon, it's in the bowl, we have it forever, it is ours. Life will always be good, it will always be joyful. And they all went to bed. And the next night, when the sun set, the moon came out. And everybody in town was super confused, because how could the moon still be in the bowl if it was in the sky? So then they said, well, who let the moon out? Which is different than who let the dogs out. Who let the moon go? And they started asking questions of everybody in town. They interrogated everybody except the rabbi. Because, rabbi would never let the moon out. So they started asking questions at everybody, like, where were you? Where have you been all day? And everybody was either at work or at school. They were in the fields. Everybody had an alibi. So finally, they had to gather the courage to go to the rabbi. And the whole town went together, and they said, Rabbi, was it you? Did you let the moon out? And the rabbi said, yeah, I did. They said, why would you do that? We worked so hard. We captured the moon. And the rabbi said, because there are certain things you enjoy while you have them, while you personally own them. And Rivka, the matchmaker, said, you mean like a shirt? And somebody else said, like a scarf? And he said, exactly. And then the rabbi said, but there are other things that you can truly only enjoy when they're shared with others. What do you think some of those things are? And one person yelled out, like love. Exactly, said the rabbi. And another one yelled out, a hug. And somebody said, friendship. And somebody else said, like the moon. And the rabbi said, exactly. The moon is as beautiful as it is, and we appreciate it as much as we do because we share it together, and everybody has the opportunity to share it. So I let it out so the world could enjoy. But Rabbi, they said, what do we do on those nights when the moon can barely be seen, when it's so dark and it's kind of sad and depressing? And he said, well, on those nights, that's when we rely on each other, and we have to figure out something else to bring us joy. And Mutzel the butcher said, like soup? And the rabbi said, exactly, like soup. And so it became a rule forevermore in Chelm that on nights when you could barely see the moon, everybody gathered together and they had soup. Last night was Thanksgiving. It was also Rosh Chodesh, the beginning of the month of Kislev, which means that we could barely see the moon. Yet many of us were blessed to gather around tables of family and friends and focus on what we were grateful for. And even if there were other things in our lives that are stressing us out and making us sad and making it hard, and even if the night sky was dark, there's still at least one thing we can figure out that we're grateful for. And even when life gets hard, we can be grateful that we don't have to go through it alone. And there's always soup. Shabbat Shalom.
There we are. So Rabbi Shauna asked me if I could maybe find a song to tie the theme of thanks into today's service. And some of you may know how to say thank you in Hebrew, Todah. So this is Mizmor LeTodah. It's Psalm 100. It finds its place in many of our liturgical services, but we're pulling it out tonight. It's a melody that was written by a good friend of mine, Cantor Benji Allen Schiller, and I'd like to share it with you tonight. The Yalelai verses are open for all, and if you happen to know the words to this psalm, by all means, please sing along as soon as you catch the melody. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 la 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 lai. Lai la 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 lai 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 lai. Hariu l'Adonai kol haaretz, ivdu et Adonai besimcha. Bohu lefanav birnana, bohu lefanav birnana. Dehu ki Adonai hu Elohim, hu asanu velo anachnu, hu asanu velo anachnu, amo vetzon marito. Lai 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 lai. Lai la 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 lai la la lai la 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 lai 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 la lai lai la lai. So we have another verse. Hodu lo baruch shemo, hodu lo baruch shemo. Ki tov Adonai leolam chasto, ve'ador emunato. Ki tov Adonai leolam chasto, ve'ador emunato. Lai 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 la lai la la lai la 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 lai la lai lai la lai lai lai. Lai la 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 lai la la lai la 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 lai Lai la 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 la.
I love that, and I love that you brought Cantor, Benji, to us. We are going to continue as we rise for Aleinu on page 283. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and oh to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love what death has touched. This Shabbat we remember Charles W. Crystal, Elka Chayko, Hannah Levy Dietz, Gershon Eisenberg, Charlene Eisenbeiser, Fanny Freiberg, Rose Rosenbluth Gardner, Adele Ida Greenbaum, Abraham I. Greenwald, Robert Lewin Kahn, Gus Keller, H. Jock Lehman, Samuel L. Lemmel, Barbara Mandel, Florence Prince Miller, Richard Posner, Roselle Leifman Reinschreiber, Eudice G. Rose, Richard Lewis Rosen, Gerald Rubenstein, Bert A. Spain, Anne Furtman Stern, Mary Jane Waterhouse, Stella Block Weil, David G. Weinberger, Dorothy Louise Wider. We say of them all, Zichronam Livracha. May each of their memories be a blessing as we rise for the Kaddish on page 294 and take into to our hearts and prayers those you have loved and lost as well. Yitzgadal v'yitzgadash shemei rabbah, b'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudasha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran b'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, as we say, Amen.
Amen.
You may be seated as I call upon Susan Merdler, a member of our Board of Trustees, for the announcements this evening. Switch.
Shabbat Shalom, anyway. Shabbat Shalom. Well, we are filled with gratitude for Rabbi and for Dave, Cantor Dave, for being with us and creating such a beautiful service, as well as for so many of us that are part of the leadership and volunteers and staff here at STK that make so many wonderful things happen. Our announcements are as follows. If you're looking for a good book to read or looking for a good group of people to discuss that book with, you can do so with the Kol Ami Book Club. Our next meeting is December 12th, and the book is The History of Love by Nicole Krauss. So we encourage you to read the book and to join us. If you don't read the book, you're still welcome to join us, of course. And then we also have a double excitement celebration on December 16th. We are celebrating both Hanukkah and consecration for our newest learners, followed by a dinner. And both of these things, the consecration, as well as a Hanukkah dinner, as well as the Kol Ami Book Club, you can find out more information on our website and call the office if you're interested. This week, there will be no our tent, so we will be back in session on December 4th, and we hope to see you at that time. And may you continue to be blessed with many, 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 many things on this Thanksgiving Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you. And we will continue with our closing song. Feel free to not only sing with us, but dance if you'd like to. It's Od Yavo Shalom on page 353.
You got there faster than I did. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
Please rise for the closing benediction.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's face always shine in your face, guiding and sustaining you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom v'yasem lecha shalom.
And may God always be with you and bless you with peace. Peace in your heart, peace in your home, and peace in our world, as together we say,
Amen.
Amen. And now Motzi.
Is there enough for everybody?
Outside.
There you go. You'll have to wait. Amotzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together, as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
B'tei Avon, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, thank you.